Simple Tales presents Deirdre of the Sorrows from Irish mythology. Long ago, in the kingdom of Ulster, a child was born whose fate would bring sorrow to an entire land. On the night of her birth, the druid Cathbad heard an unearthly cry. The sound was so strange that the gathered warriors fell silent. "What does it mean?" they asked. Cathbad closed his eyes and listened. Then he spoke. "The child who has been born tonight will grow to be the most beautiful woman in Ireland. Kings and warriors will desire her. Because of her beauty, blood will be spilled, heroes will perish, and Ulster will know great sorrow." The hall grew quiet. Many urged that the child be killed before the prophecy could come true. But King Conchobar, ruler of Ulster, refused. "If she is destined to become so beautiful," he said, "then I shall raise her myself, and one day make her my queen." Thus the infant, named Deirdre, was spared. Yet she was not allowed a normal life. Fearing the prophecy, the king ordered that she be raised in seclusion, hidden from the world. Far from courts and gatherings, Deirdre grew up among only a handful of attendants. As the years passed, her beauty became everything the prophecy had promised. Her hair was dark as a raven's wing. Her skin was pale as fresh snow. Her eyes shone with uncommon brightness. Yet her isolation weighed heavily upon her. She longed to see the world beyond her shelter. One winter day, she watched a raven land upon snow stained by the blood of a slaughtered calf. The sight struck her deeply. Black, white, and red. Turning to her nurse, she said, "I could love only a man who bears those three colours: hair as black as the raven, skin as white as snow, and cheeks as red as blood." Her nurse sighed. "There is such a man." "Who is he?" "Naoise, son of Usnach." From that moment, Deirdre could think of no one else. Fate soon brought them together. One day, Naoise passed near her dwelling while hunting. Deirdre saw him. His dark hair flowed behind him. His face was noble and handsome. At once, she knew he was the man she had imagined. She approached him boldly. "Naoise," she said, "will you take me away from this place?" The young warrior was startled. He knew she had been promised to the king. To help her escape would mean exile or death. But he could not ignore her. The two fell deeply in love. Together with Naoise's brothers, Arden and Ainley, they fled Ulster before Conchobar could stop them. When the king learned of their escape, his anger was terrible. He sent warriors after them. But the fugitives escaped across the sea to Scotland. There they lived among mountains and forests, far from the king's reach. For a time, they found happiness. Naoise hunted in the hills. The brothers protected one another. And Deirdre finally knew freedom. Yet even in exile, the shadow of the prophecy remained. Years passed. Conchobar's anger never cooled. He could not bear the thought that Deirdre belonged to another. At last, he devised a plan. He sent messengers to Scotland, carrying promises of peace. The king swore that all would be forgiven. He invited the sons of Usnach to return home. Many doubted his sincerity. Most of all, Deirdre. One night, she dreamed of dark birds circling over Ulster. She saw blood upon the earth and heard voices mourning the dead. When she awoke, dread filled her heart. "This is a warning," she told Naoise. "We must not return." But Naoise was weary of exile. He trusted in the honour of kings. Surely, he thought, enough time had passed. Reluctantly, Deirdre followed him home. The moment they arrived in Ulster, she knew her fears had been justified. The welcome felt hollow. The smiles seemed forced. Every instinct told her that betrayal waited ahead. Soon, the trap was sprung.
Conchobar's warriors surrounded the sons of Usnach. A fierce battle followed. Though they fought bravely, they were hopelessly outnumbered. One by one, the brothers fell. Naoise, the man Deirdre loved above all others, was slain before her eyes. The prophecy had claimed its victims. Ulster's greatest warriors lay dead, and Deirdre's heart was shattered. Conchobar believed that at last he had won. With Naoise gone, he ordered Deirdre brought to his court. But the woman who arrived there was not the bright young girl he had once hoped to marry. She lived in sorrow. She spoke little. The king possessed her presence, but never her affection. For a year, she endured the court that had destroyed her happiness. Then Conchobar made another cruel decision. He ordered her to ride in a chariot beside the man responsible for Naoise's death. The command was more than Deirdre could bear. As the chariot moved along the road, she looked once more upon the hills and valleys of Ulster, the land she had loved, the land that had taken everything from her. Then, choosing her own fate at last, she threw herself from the moving chariot. She struck the stones below and died. Thus ended the life of Deirdre of the Sorrows. The prophecy spoken at her birth had come to pass. The king had tried to control fate. The warriors had tried to outrun it. Yet every choice they made only drew the tragedy closer. For generations, poets remembered Deirdre not merely for her beauty, but for her courage, her loyalty, and the love she refused to betray. And so her name survives in Irish legend as a symbol of love, loss, and the sorrow that comes when power seeks to possess what should be free. If you enjoyed this tale, please like, subscribe, and share Simple Tales. There are many more legends waiting to be told.